So we know. Thank you for the like. So, Sainz, Leclerc, Bottas, Alonso, Stroll, Ocon and Zhou and Gasly are out of the pits. Bottas, purple sector on the softs. And I will write out the order when, of course, we get like load of names coming out of the bottom. This is to eliminate the 5 slowest drivers in Q1. Bottas goes fastest. Oh, Leclerc faster sector 2s and 3s, of course. I think Bottas will be the first one to complete a lap, though. He's onto the start finish straight. It's a 1:18.5 for Bottas. But of course, we've got another 19 drivers waiting to set their lap times. Zhou, wow, 1:19.6. That is ridiculously slow again. I don't know what's going on with Zhou, but it looks like he's just being set up for the race instead. Ocon goes second fastest, 18.7-ish. Stroll takes the fastest time, 18.17. Of course, Gasly goes third ahead of Ocon, 18.5. Of course, I will let you know when we get to see who is the slowest. Alonso goes fastest, narrowly ahead of Stroll. We've only got 6 time laps so far. Leclerc will come to the line and he goes fastest, 17.9. Sainz fastest, 17.4. Just so you know, it's only the 5 slowest cars that go out in Q1. 13 minutes to go. Norris is going to complete his lap soon. Right, cheers. Norris goes fastest, 17.2. And of course, it looks like, well, Zhou, by the looks of it, I think is definitely going out already. Not really sure how long he will remain in F1. Albon and Colin Pinto are starting their laps. Russell goes 4th fastest, 17.9. That's not very impressive. Hamilton, though, goes third fastest with a 17.84. But that's still well over 6 tenths slower than Norris. Not a great start for Mercedes. And they might have to do another lap to make sure they get through. 12 cars have set a lap time. Wonder who's going to come. Perez, 10th, down in 11th. My God, Perez with only an 18.5. Really slow for Red Bull. Gasly's up to 10th. And of course, Bottas, who went out first, is in 9th place. Of course, that will change very soon, though. We've still got 11.5 minutes to go. Piastri goes 8th fastest, over a second slower than his teammate. Pinto and Albon coming up to the line, surely about to finish their laps off. Pinto onto the start-finish straight. Third fastest for Pinto. Wow, ahead of Hamilton. And Albon goes third fastest. Only 0.36 seconds slower than Norris. Williams are flying around Mexico. Now, of course, but Max Verstappen has set 2 purple sectors in the first 2 sectors. Verstappen has got a trick up his sleeve, and I have got Max Verstappen as my prediction to go to take pole position, and he goes fastest with a 1:69.98. And Zhou is in the drop zone, folks. Zhou is definitely in trouble now. Four cars still yet to do a lap. The 2 RBs and the 2 Haas's are still not completed a lap yet. But Lawson and Hulkenberg have departed the pit lane. 10 minutes to go. Zhou is in trouble, folks. As predicted, obviously. Bottas. Don't know whether that lap time is quick enough, but he is ahead of both Alpines and Perez, who... I don't know how much longer Perez will stay in Formula 1. Perez is starting another lap, though, with the 2 Alpines. All of them desperately need to go faster. I have to say, Piastri does not look safe from his position of only 11th, behind both Aston Martins. Stroll goes 4th fastest. I think that should be enough to get Stroll to Q2. Hulkenberg, though, it's flying past us to do his qualifying lap. Lawson also starts his lap. Zhou is also come out across the finish line. Alonso goes 3rd fastest. Aston Martin are flying around Mexico. Magnussen up to 7th. Brilliant lap there by K-Mag. And now, of course, we've got Ocon and Zhou in a drop zone. This is to determine who will be kicked out of Q1, by the way. The 5 slowest will not take further part in qualifying. Not trying to think. Oh, Perez is now in a drop zone. Oh, Gasly. I mean, it has to be said, though, Aston Martin's practice times were not very good, but Zhou goes up to 6th. Zhou is in 6th place, folks. Second place is Gasly. Oh my God, Gasly. Where did that come from? Piastri's down at 18th. Piastri needs to get a move on. Russell's in 16th. Squeaky bum time down at Mercedes. Zhou. Ocon goes faster, but he's only 17th. Perez needs to get a move on. What's going on there? Think that's probably going to be it for Zhou in qualifying. Fastest currently is obviously Max Verstappen, just ahead of Gasly, and I think it's pretty safe to say Verstappen's qualifying run. I think Verstappen will do one more qualifying run if he's in trouble, because as it stands, he is only 9/10 faster than George Russell. So just so you know, Russell goes up to 4th. So Hamilton is now in 16th. Hamilton needs to get a move on. Colapinto is in the drop zone. The impressive rookie from Argentina might be heading for a Q1 exit today, as of course we're now approaching 5 minutes to go in a qualifying session for Q1. Perez, 1.5 seconds slower than his teammate. Got to do something. I mean, Piastri is on an out lap. Lap time deleted for Hamilton. Track limits. So he's down in... Where's Hamilton? Down in 8th. Hamilton's had his lap time deleted on his 5th lap. Track limits at turn 1. Obviously overshooting the corner. Magnussen. Piastri goes 13th, and of course that's Magnussen drops into Q1, drops into the drop zone. Oh wait, has Piastri had his lap time deleted? Yeah, oh. Piastri's had his lap time deleted, folks. So Piastri is in serious trouble now because he's had his lap time deleted. It was a pretty mediocre lap anyway. Oh, and Colapinto goes up to 12th. Magnussen back in trouble again. Leclerc is in 15th place, by the way, so Leclerc needs to watch his back. Leclerc needs to get a move on. And of course, Bottas is doing another lap with just 3 minutes remaining. It's squeaky bum time for the back markers. And Leclerc, surprisingly enough, of course, winner last time out at Kota. He will not be happy about the situation he's in. Ferrari are always leaving on a knife edge. Perez is 2 seconds slower than Norris. Norris has gone fastest with a 1:16.5. Wow, sending out a statement now there at McLaren. But Piastri needs to get a move on. Piastri needs to get a lap. And he's in the pit. Oh, he's out on the track, but we've already got 2.5 minutes to go. And there's going to be a bit of traffic for Piastri because I think Stroll is just a few hundred meters ahead. Gasly has come out of the pits. Gasly doesn't think he's safe. Zhou's on a flying lap. Leclerc's at a purple sector. Leclerc knows he needs to get this lap nailed down. Piastri, of course, had his lap time deleted, but it wasn't like his lap was really particularly good enough for him to guarantee qualification to Q2 anyway. He's on another lap. Let's see. Bottas and Piastri will cross the line. Bottas stays 14th. Piastri, can I see? And he goes to 14th place. Piastri is out of the drop zone, but he's only just half a tenth faster than Bottas. Not the most safest. Perez improves, but only to 16th. Oh, this is bad. Piastri's in the drop zone. Both stake Saubers were always going to get eliminated early, but Piastri is in serious trouble. He needs to improve. Perez, with 45 seconds to go, is in trouble, folks. Oh, it's looking bad. Piastri. What's Piastri doing, mate? You've only got 33 seconds to go. You need to hurry up. And Perez needs to get a hurry up as well. They're both stuck in Sector 2. Time is running out. Colapinto goes into the drop zone. Oh, God, it's having another nightmare qualifying session. Yeah, but Colapinto will be eliminated in Q1, I'm afraid. Pollard is out. It's over for the young 21-year-old Argentine, but Piastri... Oh, it's over for Piastri as well. Can't see Perez out there, but Ocon is going to do a lap. Can he get himself out? Nope. Ocon's out. So, goodness me, what a terrible qualifying session for Piastri and Perez. What an absolutely shocking qualifying session there for Oscar and Sergio. Huge question marks over Perez's future in F1. As for Piastri, his qualifying has been really poor, and Bottas, though, is into Q2, though. Great job by Bottas. Albon finished the session in 9th place. Unsurprisingly, Norris and Verstappen 1st and 3rd place. Gasly in 6th place. So, yeah, I think a lot of the drivers have got knocked out in Q1, except for Zhou, can be very, very annoyed with their efforts, because I know, obviously, it's only a 1 second gap that separates Norris and Colapinto, but Piastri had his lap time deleted. Perez never looked quick enough to really get himself out of the drop zone. Ocon has checked out at Alpine. And Zhou was it 6 tenths slower than Bottas? More than 6 tenths, actually. Almost 7 tenths. So once again, struggling in the qualifying battle against his teammate. But Bottas actually was well over a tenth and a half faster than Colapinto. So I've got to say, well done to Bottas for a great qualifying effort. Getting into Q2, and that's probably about as good as it gets for Stake Sauber with how bad their car is. Magnussen 5th. Magnussen, wow, what a brilliant Q1 effort there by Kevin. Hulkenberg 8th, Tsunoda 7th, Gasly 6th. Great performances there by some of the midfield boys. Mercedes only 10th and 11th. It's not looking good down there at Brackley. But we will reset the lap times, everyone. Of course, in Q2, another 5 cars will be eliminated. At this time, there will only be 15 seconds, 15 minutes of this session to go. Hope you're enjoying yourself this evening. It is very late here in Britain, even later in Central Europe, Northern Europe, Continental Europe, because I think, what's it, only Portugal, Iceland, and the Republic of Ireland share the same time zone as the UK, along with a few other African countries on the west coast, like Cape Verde and maybe Ghana and Ivory Coast. But Perez and Piastri will not be happy with their efforts, and Perez, how long can that guy last at Red Bull, especially if Lawson gets his act together and really capitalizes on the final 5 races we have in this season. Just so you know, a full 0.15 seconds separated Lance Stroll and Colin Pinto, so it wasn't really that close in terms of who was gonna make it into Q2, I'm afraid. I mean, Colin Pinto, Piastri and Perez especially, really poor, and I don't know whether Ocon has got some engine change or something, but it does seem like Ocon is just completely given up, but it just doesn't seem to be the same in qualifying recently. Norris, though, I know he's now, 57 points behind Verstappen in the championship. Let's face it, Lando Norris needs a DNF from Max if he wants to stay in this championship fight. I think we are about to get ready for Q2, folks. Air temperature is 22 degrees. The track is 41 degrees Celsius. Wind direction 2.5 kilometers an hour. Oh, it's actually 7.2 k per hour to the south. So wind speed has picked up, everyone. I'm going to say something quite big and quite interesting here. Leaving McLaren was actually a mistake by Carlos Sainz, because let's face it, Ferrari were always going to try and make Carlos Sainz their number 2. And now that they've gone and found a driver in Lewis Hamilton that he won a lot more than him, he's off to Williams. Whilst, of course, McLaren now have a championship contending car. I know a lot of people said I was talking rubbish 3 years ago, but I have actually been proven right down the line, amazingly enough. But enough of that. Of course, Norris went fastest in Q1, and of course, Lando Norris is not a team leader. Like, we all know Carlos Sainz would probably be doing a better job of taking this championship fight to Verstappen, if I'm going to be truly honest. Maybe he's not as insanely quick as Norris can be on their best days, but Sainz is a lot more consistent and far better racecraft. I am anticipating the start of Q2, though. The track temperature has now dropped to 39.7 degrees Celsius, and the green light is on. Q2 is underway. Of course, the bottom 5 drivers, Colapinto, Piastri, Perez, Ocon, and Zhou are out of the session. And of course, I've got their names written down. So Albon is the first driver out on track. Albon's been fantastic in qualifying for Williams over the past 18 months. Can he get into Q3 again? Of course, because of the high sea level, downforce and outright engine power gets very heavily neutralized around here. So all the cars will be running maximum wings. But of course, I think a lot of the turbulence does actually disappear around this racetrack. So whilst the engines lose all power, of course, the downforce also kind of almost diminishes as well. So Verstappen and the two Ferraris are also coming out on track, proving that no one around the grid is taking track position for granted tonight here at Mexico City. Albon will start his qualifying lap first. There's only 4 cars on track, and Carlos Sainz has a target lap time of 1 minute 16.8. Ferrari already trying to push the limits. The track temperature has dropped off a little bit, just down to 38.8 centigrade. Track temperature, air temperature has dropped off a bit to the 21 Celsius. Albon. Oh, Verstappen goes less than a tenth faster than Albon in sector 1, so it's not like I'll say it, the Williams straight line speed is making a big difference. Albon is in sector 3 now, going through the stadium section, going through turn 17, I beg your pardon, over the finish line. It's a 1:17.09 for Alex Albon. But of course, Verstappen will follow up and will probably take away the fastest lap, having gone purple in both sectors. But Carlos Sainz has gone purple in sector 1. Verstappen will surely overtake Albon for top spot. Magnussen, 5th car out on the track. And yes, Verstappen 1:16.6. Decent lap by Red Bull, but they're going to have to go faster if they want to get pole position today. Leclerc is now heading for the stadium section. Has to be said, it's not been that impressive by Leclerc, though. He will not go fastest at this rate, but he will cross the line. 3rd fastest. 6/10, over half a second slower than Albon. Ferrari are not looking good around Mexico, I'm afraid to say. And Sainz goes 2nd fastest, though I think it's more a case of Leclerc botching up his outlap. But having said that, Ferrari are less than a tenth ahead of Albon, which is definitely not music to Scuderies ears. 10 minutes ago. Now we've got plenty more cars out on the track. Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Lawson, Bottas and Stroll are out on track, with only Norris and the 2 Mercs still out there. But it looks like all 3 of them are now about to emerge onto the track with 10 minutes ago. Magnussen and Norris coming out, but Magnussen is about to cross the finish line to start his lap. And he's going to get a tow from Norris, who's come out on track. Verstappen returns to the pits. Hulkenberg started his flying lap. Russell and Hamilton and Norris have all emerged from the pits. Bottas also starts its flying lap. Tsunoda, it starts its lap. Magnussen has just come out of sector 1. He's not gone fastest though, but I think it's not seeing any purple sectors, unsurprisingly, from the guys who are starting their next laps. Magnussen is now heading towards the baseball stadium. I apologise if I mispronounce anything. Tsunoda, B-ball offset. Magnussen, what can Magnussen do? He goes 4 fastest ahead of Leclerc, who, my God, Leclerc really needs to pick the pace up. What can Hulkenberg do? Lawson will take a toll off Magnussen. Hulkenberg goes 5th fastest. Magnussen has been looking quite good recently, despite the fact that I don't really think he's much of a future in F1. Bottas 6th fastest. Bottas has been looking very good this weekend. Russell and Hamilton start their qualifying laps. Tsunoda is up in 4th place, ahead of both horses. Half a second behind Verstappen. Impressive stuff by Tsunoda. And Gasly, over 4 tenths slower in 3rd place. Gasly has been flying this weekend. Now I've got the 2 Aston Martins finally about to start their laps. Stroll goes 7th fastest, splitting the 2 horses. What can Alonso do? Aston Martin are not looking quick, by the way, so don't expect much. Alonso goes 6th fastest ahead of Magnussen. Very, very tidy lap there by Alonso. Lawson, what can he do? It's 6th fastest behind his teammate Tsunoda, ahead of Alonso. Very good lap there by Lawson. And Bottas is now in a drop zone, of course. Yeah. Oh, Hulkenberg. Times are tumbling. Names are falling down. Hulkenberg and Bottas down there. Oh, Leclerc is in trouble here, folks. Leclerc needs to get a lap time done. Looks like the 2 horses and Lance Stroll are in trouble, along with Leclerc. Leclerc needs to get a move on. What the hell are you doing, mate? Bit of a cloudy day out there in Mexico City. Stroll returns to the pits. Gonna have to do another qualifying lap there by Stroll. 6 minutes remain for Q2. Alonso returns to the pit. I think Norris gone fastest. I didn't realise Norris has gone fastest again. 3 tenths faster than Verstappen, of course. But of course, we're not really concerned about whether Norris can make it to Q3 because, dude, his qualifying form is absolutely fantastic. It's just his racecraft and his starts off the line that is a huge topic of concern. And I think, Norris will probably be able to sit out the rest of the session unless track evolution provides more grip later on. But we've got 5 minutes to go now, folks. Albon is on an out lap. Albon wants to do a qualifying lap. So, of course, that leaves Alex Albon the only car on track, of course. But Verstappen has decided he wants to do another lap to ensure qualification. So there's only 2 cars on the track. Albon snaking its way through the baseball stadium. Very tight technical part of the track before he reaches the final turn. Powers his way onto the start-finish straight. Leclerc comes out to do another lap. Leclerc needs to get a move on. Albon getting a huge toll off the number 16 Ferrari. You get a massive toll around the front straight here at Mexico. I think the slipstream effect on the front straight is even stronger than what you could get at Baku or Monza. Sainz joins his teammate out on track. Ferrari want to make sure to get both cars through to Q3. Magnussen, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Bottas, and Leclerc remain in trouble. Leclerc, come on, get a move on, mate. What the hell is going on with Leclerc this weekend? Ferrari are just not getting this car working around Mexico City. Of course, just so you know, the final turn, which used to be a 180 mile an hour corner in the days of Senna, Mansell, and Prost, is now a very slow, tight, twisty, and technical baseball ground section. So, whilst the cars are capable of going much faster out of corners compared to the cars in the 80s and the 90s, the track has been slowed down considerably to increase lap time. Albon goes to 5th place, faster than Sainz. Albon surely has got to get to Q3 today. Magnussen is coming out. Magnussen is on the bubble. So is Hulkenberg. Leclerc starts his qualifying lap. He's going to get a huge toll off the Haas, and he badly needs it. Sainz also wants to make sure he makes it to Q3, but Leclerc desperately needs a big lap now. 3 minutes to go. Everyone out on track. Gasly leaves the pits. Lawson is leaving the pits. Leclerc third fastest. Alonso in the drop zone. Both Astons and both horses in trouble. 1 minute to go, folks. This is squeaky bum time now for the 2 Astons and the 2 horses. The 2 RBs are on the bubble. Lawson is only 6 thousandths faster than Alonso, and Tsunoda is only 400ths faster than Alonso. So it's pretty tight between those, between them and Alonso. Gasly is only just over a 10th quicker, so I think Albon and Gasly might, and Hamilton and his teammate Russell will need to get a move on, because I think the top 4 should be safe. I mean, Norris, Verstappen, Sainz, and Leclerc should be done for. I think they've secured a place in Q3. 26 seconds to go. Magnussen crosses the line. He's out of the danger zone. Red flag. Oh, and Tsunoda, I think, had a problem there. Red flag, everyone. Red flag. Tsunoda has had a problem. I don't know what's... the two Aston Martins. Of course, Alonso will be pretty furious with what's happened. Bottas was always going to drop out anyway. Lawson as well. I think Lawson will be pretty angry too, because obviously that's ended his qualifying lap with just 10 seconds to go. Yet that has ended the session. Of course, they might restart the session, but frankly, I mean, with only 10 seconds to go, what's the point? Because everyone, I think, is having to return to the pits. But the two horses of Hulkenberg and Magnussen have timed their runs to perfection, just ahead of Gasly, who was also on the bubble. They've all made it to Q3. Albon is in 7th place. Great job by him. So it's Norris, Verstappen, the two Ferraris, two Mercedes, Alex Albon of Williams, Hulkenberg and Magnussen of Haas, and Pierre Gasly of Alpine into Q3. Great job there by everyone in the top 10. Looks like Tsunoda locked up his front tyres and tapped the barriers. I couldn't get his car out of the barriers, so Yuki Tsunoda bringing out the red flag and knocking himself and his teammate out of Q2, along with the two Aston Martins. I don't think Alonso will be very pleased with him. Of course, I will type out the rest of the top 10 when we get round to Q3, but of course, just so you know, just to update, Pinto of Williams, Piastri of McLaren, Sergio Perez of Red Bull, Esteban Ocon of Alpine, and Zhou of Stakes Albert got knocked out in Q1. So, of course, Piastri and Perez are going to have a real fight in their hands. And, of course, Q3 will be delayed to remove Tsunoda's car out of turn 14. Of course, Tsunoda's crash brought out a red flag. And what can be said? Of course, that knocked himself out along with teammate Lawson and the two Aston Martins. Although it has to be said, I don't really think Aston Martin have looked that quick this weekend, so this is hardly like a terrible result for them. But into Q3, or Norris, Verstappen, the two Ferraris, the two Mercedes, Alex Albon, both horses of Hulkenberg and Magnussen, and escaping the drama, Pierre Gasly for Alpine. Pierre Gasly has just been fantastic the past 2 weekends, to be honest. Ahead of his teammate in the point standings. Okay, yes, I know Gasly got outpaced by Ocon at Singapore, but I don't care because, Pierre Gasly is going to be the #1 lead driver at Alpine next year again. Of course, I hope you enjoyed yourself this evening. I will be responding to comments once Q3 is done, so because of course I cannot see comments right now. I will read out the comments once the session has ended. But the start of Q3 has been delayed due to the problems with Tsunoda's stop car on the track. I think that kind of sums up why Tsunoda is probably never going to be a Red Bull senior driver, I'm afraid. But Lawson, well, just about only 400ths of a second slower than his teammate. Also, I think Lawson, once again, doing a good job for the VCOB boys, VCOB, RB, Toro Rosso. I mean, I don't know why they renamed it Toro Rosso. Like, what's wrong with Visa Cash App Toro Rosso? Like, is that too much? I mean, can't they call it V Qatar? I don't know, V Qatar. Oh no, that sounds like Qatar. Sorry. I don't like the name V Car, but it just makes it sound like it's some sort of energy bar supplement. Would you look at that? Norris was faster than Verstappen by 0.2 of a second, and Sainz only 1,000th of a second faster than the Red Bull. Ferrari are giving Red Bull some heat recently. It has to be said, I think in order for Norris to remain in the championship fight, he has got to take at least 11 or 12 points off Verstappen in the remaining 5 races. Oh, yeah, and the sprint race. I think there'll be another sprint race. Yeah, he needs to take loads of points off Verstappen now. He's got to win every race and get the fastest lap point and hope that Verstappen doesn't finish higher than third in all of those races, and preferably rely on the Ferraris and his own teammate to take points off Max Verstappen. Although, of course, with Piastri down in 17th, no, that really is, that is not helping Norris at all. I mean, if Piastri really wants to be in contention to challenge for the title and for race wins regularly next year, he's got to do better than this. This has been a really poor qualifying effort by Oscar, I'm afraid. Almost Daniel Ricciardo-esque, if you ask me, in terms of how inconsistent and slow he's been. Q3 has been delayed because, oh my God, come on, what's going on here? We've been waiting for 5 minutes for Tsunoda's car to be cleared away. Sorry about that. Hope you're doing well. You know what? I'll look at your comments now because I'm. Hello there, John Cartier. I hope you're doing well. Hello there, Will, and hello there, Say. Yeah, second slowest team at Mexico. Yeah, Aston were the second slowest team. You're absolutely right. I hope you're all doing well in the comments. So, congrats to Barca. Albon is a mid driver. Yeah, that's kind of sad, isn't it? Albon crashing into Behrman. That was just so schoolboyish by Albon. Blaming the way he blamed Ollie Behrman on the radio was just so. It was just so desperate and childish from Albon. I have to say, I do feel like being beaten by Colin Pinto recently has given Alex a huge wake-up call, and he's just getting. I do get the sense when Alex gets angry and annoyed, he can be very temperamental. I blame walking corpse mind game that might have affected Piastri. Yeah. Yeah, John, you're absolutely right. I don't know what the hell is going on with Oscar, to be honest. Piastri is so inconsistent, though. Piastri, if he really wants to become a serious driver, dropping stinkers like this is not acceptable. Track clear. Track is finally clear. Tsunoda's RB has finally been removed. Can we now get a move on? It's now. My God, Lord. We've been waiting for about 10 minutes for Q3 to start. Let's just read out Liam Lawson's radio message. Okay, well, if that's of any comfort, Sector 1 looked better on the last lap. Yeah, it was very strong. We progressed nicely. It's just a shame we couldn't show it at the end. Anyway, still decent place for tomorrow on the European stage. Absolutely. Liam Lawson, I think, can be proud of his efforts. Of course, I don't know why you've put a couple of flame signs next to Aston Martin there, say, but I mean, yeah, I get it. Alonso getting unlucky again thanks to the troubles of Yuki Tsunoda, but it's not like, I mean, Aston Martin are way behind Mercedes in the constructor standings, but they still got just about enough of a buffer between themselves and Haas and Alpine in the constructor standings. So I don't think any tears will be shed at um the Green Boys factory tonight, unless of course Haas and RB get like a huge stack of points tomorrow, and both Alonso and Stroll DNF, which would literally be the worst nightmare for the Aston boys. We're getting ready. As for Sergio Perez, it's business as usual, really. Like, the fact that no one even, like, sits there and talks about how bad Checo is anymore just shows you that everyone's given up with Checo. It's like everyone expects Checo to be rubbish nowadays. It's like, that's how washed up the guy is. It's like he's 34 years old and he's already miles past it. It's like, and the problem is he doesn't even have like that sort of luxury status that Kimi Raikkonen had at Ferrari, where like Kimi Raikkonen was like a known quantity to the team, and they knew that if they could sort out certain car problems, gotta find some positivity. I wonder how much feedback new we could get out of Lance Stroll. Oh man, that's gonna be fun to watch, isn't it? Adrian Newey's just gonna sit there staring at him like, so, young man, how does the front of the car feel? Yeah, it feels good. How does it feel good, though, Lance? It just feels good, AD. Damn, I mean, Yui's gonna have his work cut out next year, to be honest, when it comes to Lance Stroll. Like, this is a problem with Aston Martin's business model, which, of course, relies on one lead driver, which is that the lead driver is not only responsible for scoring the bulk of the points, but Alonso is also responsible for car development all by himself. So, like, not only does he not have a teammate that can challenge him and really, like, be a proper benchmark for him, like he had with Ocon at Alpine, but Lance Stroll is not even quick or, like, consistent at scoring points. So it's like, and he can't and he can't give car feedback like Kimi could at Ferrari, or what I think even Stoffel Vandal was better doing car feedback at McLaren, to be honest. So what is Alonso working with, to be honest? He's I mean, yes, I know he likes to be the number one driver at most teams he's at, but I think even Alonso must be getting really fed up of having to do debrief sessions all by himself. Now, 2 years at Aston Martin, yes, it's great to get away from Esteban Ocon and Esteban Ocon's lack of understanding of what the word teamwork means, but yeah, we all know about Papa Stroll and why the hell and how deluded his dad is. Thank you for 8 likes, by the way. 5 cars up. Yeah, 5 cars. I can't count. 8 cars are on track now. Of course, both Haas's, both Ferraris, Verstappen, Norris, Albon, and Gasly all on track. The 2 Mercedes are waiting. I don't know what is it with Mercedes. Mercedes seem to be very conservative with their qualifying strategies recently. Of course, it does. Of course, with Hamilton leaving the team at the end of the year, I think it's safe to say Russell is now very much the lead driver in the team, so he's pretty much calling the shots. And this is what Mercedes are now like. But of course, Russell finally gets out on track. Hulkenberg starts his flying lap, and he's going to get a huge toll from Russell down the straight. Can he get past Russell though? Yes, he does. Of course, Hulkenberg's now going to have to try and get his toll off Sainz in front of him. got 5 cars on a flying lap. Not 5 cars, I mean 3 cars, I beg your pardon. But Albon's going to be the 4th car to start his flying lap. He's looking very quick on his out lap though. Hulkenberg going through the S's and Q in sector 2, coming out of turn 11, speeding towards the baseball stadium. Oh, this is going quickly now, Q1. Hulkenberg squeezes his way past Sainz into the baseball stadium. Magnussen goes fastest. I think it's going to change who's going to go fastest. Hulkenberg fastest. Norris is coming to the line now. Go second quickest. Norris is half a second slower than Max. Oh, damn. Josh Ravel believes Albert and Stroll will win a race. Yeah, I think we all know him. Josh Ravel is something of a Stroll fanboy for some reason. Gasly, 3rd fastest. Blimey, Gasly is on a absolute screamer this weekend in that dreadful Alpine. Norris is only 4th. Verstappen, what's going on here? Verstappen. Oh, Verstappen's had his lap time deleted. Oh, wow. Blimey. So Verstappen needs to go again. Norris is only 5th, though. 116. Look at that. Super fast lap there by Ferrari's number 55. Less than 6 minutes remaining. Leclerc almost 4 tenths slower than his teammate. What a statement performance there by Carlos Sainz. Honest to God, why is Carlos Sainz going to Williams next year? Like, dude, this guy should be a McLaren. Hard days, Red Bull like the Beatles. Verstappen needs to do a lap because he's had his lap time deleted, by the way. That's why he's down in 10th. 5 minutes to go. Well, Lando Norris better shove a rocket up his backside and get a move on because nearly 9 tenths slower than Carlos Sainz. He's in a championship fight, and yet he's scraping his knuckles across on the pavement. Literally, it's like he's the kid who knows how to throw conkers, but in a playground fight. But when there's a trophy on offer, he just starts throwing the conkers into his nose and up his backside instead of against his opponents. Norris is the master of self-destruction. He needs a big lap right now. A lot of McLaren want Sainz back at McLaren. Yeah, I mean, come on. Why did... I've always said this all along all these years that Carlos Sainz should have never left McLaren. Like, he had such a good thing going on. Like, why the hell did he think he actually would have a chance of beating Charles Leclerc? Oh, right, a lot of McLaren fans disagree with the idea of bringing Carlos Sainz back. Oh dear, I mean, I'm sorry, but Carlos Sainz was fantastic at Macca. Like the guy is a far more capable team leader than Lando Norris or Piastri will ever be. Like, Daniel Ricciardo was a terrible replacement. Like, just imagine Carlos Sainz with this McLaren fighting for the world championship against Max Verstappen. Like, no, Mac, how are you saying? Why are you accusing World F1 of brainwashing me? Like, okay, I know Carlos Sainz might not be as intrinsically as quick as Leclerc or Norris, but he's just so much more consistent. He makes far fewer mistakes. His racecraft is a lot better. His overtaking and defending is way more precise. He can do it. He can do it. Okay, he might not share the same outright speed of Norris, but his general motor racing brain is a lot better than Norris, and he's a lot more technical. But dude, Norris could have had like anywhere up to about 9 or 10 wins this season. Like, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say it. Okay, realistically, maybe up to 7 or 8 victories. But for me, Norris is not doing well enough. We've got 2 minutes to go, folks. Squeaky bum time now for Lando Norris. And I mean, as for Max Verstappen, well, but starting 10th, I don't think starting 10th would be that bad for Max. I think Max is just sort of like 57-point lead with 5 races to go. The onus is on Lando Norris to actually produce a miracle out of his backside, because to be honest, as long as Verstappen gets a couple of second places, a couple of third places, and then another third place in the last 5 races, and I don't know, does well in the sprint races as well, remaining in the, on the podium, he doesn't need to win another race again to win this championship. He's like, the sole position Max Verstappen is in is similar to what, it is analogous to what Jensen Button had in the second half of 2009. He doesn't need to do anything special to win this championship anymore. It's all up to Lando Norris, just like it was right up to the likes of Sebastian Vettel and Rubens Barrichello to drive brilliantly well in the second half of the season. And just like Barrichello and Vettel, Norris is failing to do the job. Ferrari is like that pretty girl who asks you out for a date. Yeah, but just like that pretty girl, like, you'd probably be best advised to say no to her. Yeah, I know Red Bull had quite a few reliability issues in 2009, but Vettel did make life hard for himself, like crashing out in Monaco, struggling at certain points against Mark Webber, kind of a bit like what Norris is struggling with against Piastri. Like, Norris, just like Vettel, is showing stop making mistakes you expect from a inexperienced driver. Verstappen, blimey. He doesn't even need this, by the way, folks. It's only third. It's only third. Not good enough, Lando. Yeah, but this is a thing, though, like... Jenson Button did not need to perform well in the second half of 2009. He had the championship done and dusted the first opening 7 races that year. So, and I think, you know, even though Verstappen doesn't even need to perform that well, he still managed to out-qualify Norris anyway. So, second ahead of Verstappen, third. Okay, I think you need to stop taking drugs, my friend. Like, Norris is just mid. Sainz, fantastic qualifying performance, getting pole position, even though he's going to be departing the team at the end of the year, which just about sums up how deluded Ferrari are in thinking that they'd be better off getting Hamilton, who's just lost out in qualifying to Russell once again. Almost 3 tenths slower than Russell, by the way, folks. Really alarming stuff. Like, is this the driver Ferrari really wanted Lewis Hamilton? A guy getting out qualified 3 tenths of a second by George Russell? Not good enough. But as for Magnussen, it's fantastic, exemplary qualifying performance. Gasly and Albon 8th and 9th. Hulkenberg 10th, but that doesn't matter because Hulkenberg has been very good in both qualifying and the races where it really counts. So I don't think he'll be too upset about being out qualified since he's going to have another top 10 finish once again. And of course, he'll be moving to Sauber next year, whilst of course Magnussen doesn't even know whether he'll be having eggs on his toast tomorrow. And if you want to know what I mean by that analogy, none of us know whether he even has... I don't even know whether he has a seat for it next year in F1. So, yeah, that is your top 10, folks. And then, of course, going down the order, of course, 2 RBs of Tsunoda and Lawson out in Q2 after Tsunoda crashed out. Alonso and Stroll struggle once again, getting eliminated in 13th and 14th. Bottas impressing in P15. Colin Pinto 16th. First time he's really struggled in comparison to Alex Albon. It was always going to happen, but I think Colin Pinto will be keen to make sure that this is an off weekend and it will not happen again in the last upcoming races in, of course, Brazil and Qatar or wherever else F1 is going. I did call Sainz getting more pole position before leaving Ferrari. Yeah, well, why the hell are Ferrari getting rid of Sainz? I mean, this has actually ultimately turned out to be a mistake for Carlos Sainz to join Ferrari in the long run, because deep down, were Ferrari ever going to really commit to Sainz as a driver, as like a real like long-term option? Okay, I know some will say 4 years is a long time, but realistically, this is not ideal for Sainz. Like, going to Williams is going to be a waste of Sainz's talent. And honest to God, if I was Zach Brown and I really wanted to win championships, I would do everything I can to do a swap deal with James Vowles and send Norris off to Williams, because, or ideally send Oscar Piastri off to Williams. Like, Oscar to Piastri to Williams would be a bad deal, because of course Zach Brown would then probably get the 2 best drivers he could possibly wish for again in Norris and Sainz, and 2 drivers who can push each other every weekend. Of course, Piastri down 17th. I think obviously today he drove his McLaren like it was a Williams in qualifying, so not good. Sergio Perez, we all know he's finished. We all know he's just a waste of a seat at this point. 18th. Ocon is heading for Haas next year, so he's not really bothered about qualifying on a back row of the grid. Zhou is just frankly extending the inevitable at this point. Like, he really shouldn't. We all know he's not going to. But Sainz is winding down, dude. Sainz is 30 years old. Like, what are you talking about? Like, Sainz should go back to McLaren. Like, Lando got a new floor. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Lando got a new floor, so that probably explains why he's quicker this weekend. But, dude, McLaren need a proper team leader. Like, they need someone who can lead them on setup, technical direction, racecraft, race strategy, that sort of stuff, if they really want to fight for a championship. Because neither Norris nor Piastri can provide them that. Of course, I will leave this screen up for those of you who want to see it. Sainz, Verstappen, Norris is your top three in qualifying today. Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton are the next three drivers behind them. And of course, Piastri and Perez absolutely shat the bed in qualifying this tonight. Not a good session for those two drivers, down in 17th and 18th. Both of them not useful rear gunners whatsoever at McLaren and Red Bull. Of course, Norris is still 57 points behind in the championship, but I have to say, though, I don't think Verstappen is that keen on requiring Perez's help anymore at this point, because he does not need Perez's help at all. He just doesn't. This championship, honestly, should be quite winnable for Max, considering he's managed to out-qualify Norris this weekend. And of course, as long as Verstappen finishes, I don't know, second and third for the rest of the season, I think, I mean, the oldest is obviously on Norris to get all 26 points, including the fastest lap and the win. So, for Norris, the pressure is definitely on. Norris is going to be fighting, is going to have to go head-to-head against Max all by himself tomorrow. He will not be able to call upon the help of Piastri. Ferrari have made a mistake in signing Hamilton. Yeah, I actually agree with you, Will. 3 tenths slower than Hamilton and Russell. That is quite a lot to give away. And I have to say, I don't know why. Come on, Sargeant. Like, Carlos Sainz has only just turned 30 years old. What are you talking about? There's still a lot of fire in Sainz's belly. Like, he hasn't turned into Checo Perez yet, my friend. I don't have to say, though, Hamilton, I mean, he's 39 years old now. Hamilton is an example of a driver who is getting ready to go to an old pensioner's home to play chess with Sebastian Vettel, and then, of course, jump on a quad bike with Kimi Raikkonen. Yeah, I've got to say it. Unless Norris produces like a generational drive tomorrow, I can't really imagine a world where I will ever sit there and truly rate Norris as a proper elite driver. Like, I know I've been trying to give him a chance, like, especially after he dominated at Singapore, but even at Singapore, he made a couple of errors by clipping the barriers and damaging his front wing, which of course costed him the opportunity to go and chase that fastest lap point. So all these little errors are just add up over time. Norris is, yeah, well, to be honest, I think we also have to realise McLaren clearly need a team leader. This is why I keep saying they need Carlos Sainz, because I don't really think McLaren have that sort of management and direction of the team to really push them ahead, really push them into like the championship elite winning mentality that they used to have when he had Ron Dennis, Mika Hakkinen, Kimi Raikkonen, Adrian Newey. Hell, even David Coulthard is more of a team leader than what Lando Norris is. They also used to have Alonso, Hamilton, Jenson Button. Even Martin Whitmarsh is what I would describe as a step up in terms of leadership compared to Zach Brown and Randy Singh. It's just not good enough for McLaren. This is so disappointing, and I mean, they're in danger of now losing the Constructors' title to Ferrari as well, to add on top of their woes. It's just... Dude, McLaren are going to regret this season so much if they're not careful. And with Piastri struggling down in P17, I know Rod Dennis did contribute to the downfall of McLaren, like by signing the Honda deal, but you have to realise Rod Dennis in his prime was mostly a winner and got most of the big decisions correct, like in the 80s when he bought the team out with Project 4, getting Alan Prost back to the team, signing Ayrton Senna, signing taking the Honda engines away from Williams, signing Mercedes around 1995, making Mika Hakkinen the lead team leader around that time as well. Prioritising Hakkinen over David Coulthard in the late 90s, signing Adrian Newey when he did, replacing Hakkinen Hakkinen with Kimi Raikkonen, despite the fact that Raikkonen had scored less points than Nick Heidfeld. Nick Heidfeld used to be a McLaren Junior. I know Sainz can be quite consistent, but the thing is, with Carlos Sainz, he is a very, very solid as a driver, despite his lack of outright speed. The thing with Carlos, a bit like Jenson Button in a way, like when he's good, he's seriously good, but of course, he can sometimes be caught off guard with his lack of outright speed. I know, obviously, Spygate completely kind of slowly destroyed Rod Dennis, but you've got to appreciate for what he did when he had Senna, Prost, Hakkinen around at the team, and Adrian Newey, obviously, as well as, of course, Steve Nichols and Gordon Murray designing the cars. But ever since Ron Dennis deteriorated, I think, obviously, McLaren have tried to go back to their glory days. Oh my God, I'm sorry, say Rigora. That is going to be a slam dunk 10-second stop-and-go penalty, my friend. 10-second stop-and-go penalty, and you are also going to get a 10-place grid drop for that, for saying that Carlos Sainz is winding down, dude. Oh my God, he's 15 years younger than Kimi Raikkonen, man, dude. Oh my God. You have to realise the only job offer for Carlos Sainz was obviously going to the Sauber Audi project. So it wasn't like Carlos Sainz really had a lot of choice when it came to finding a new team. I don't get why you're slagging on Carlos Sainz. It doesn't make any sense. Like, he's just got a pole position today at Mexico City, and despite the fact he's only got like 5 races remaining at Ferrari, he's still got it. Like, he's such... Oh, damn. It's so annoying. And the thing is, like, Carlos Sainz could well contribute to Ferrari winning the Constructors' title this year if Ferrari really do capitalise upon McLaren's meltdown. McLaren have only won 5 races this year in a year where they arguably should have at least 10 race wins, to be honest. Yeah, that's right. They should have 10 race wins. They should be walking this championship, and I think Lando Norris the gap should only be like 3 or 4 points in between Max and Lando Norris for the championship, and I think Norris should be in a position where he's swooping past Max Verstappen for the Drivers' Championship lead. That's the thing, though. McLaren don't have the strategist, they don't have the mindset, they don't have like someone who can lead from the driving front like they used to have with Carlos Sainz. And I just think, the thing with McLaren is that, yeah, I get it's obviously a great turnaround compared to where they were being stuck in the midfield and celebrating podium finishes, but it does not feel like they have actually seized the day and seized the opportunity to realize they've had a car that's, I think, that is on average genuinely better than everyone else's. And of course, Lando Norris has talked about his nerves at the start of races, the way he just gets so nervous and just almost gets caught in a sense of panic, just doesn't seem to know how to deal with that sort of pressure, if you know what I mean. It's a shame, but, McLaren, will they learn their lesson? Hi, Roxford, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Sainz has been great this weekend. I'll agree. I mean, obviously, I don't think we need to repeat the point about, obviously, the fact that I've said it before and I'll say again, that a top driver, Max, Alonso, peak Hamilton, peak Vettel, peak Raikkonen, peak Schumacher, would all definitely would probably find a way of winning like 7 or 8 races in that McLaren by now. It's not by some big, it's not really like news to anyone. And the thing is, we all know Max is going to basically walk to his 4th full championship without even being pushed to the limit or really having to push himself to the limit and chase records like he was last year. Which is a shame, but McLaren have to kind of really blame themselves. Brazil in a house, yes, of course. I know we are going to Brazil next week. Great to be back at Sao Paulo next week, is it? Yeah, it's got to be Sao Paulo because I think, obviously, after Sao Paulo, there will only be one more race in the Americas for Formula One at Las Vegas, which will be another month. But Boyes, yeah, yes. Nice to see you, Garrisau. Hope you're enjoying the podcast here at Crystal Racing. Of course, Gabriel Bortoletto could be in contention to join Formula One next season. Yeah, we hope to see, another Brazilian driver on the grid next season. I think Bortoletto won last year's Formula 3 championship. Of course, it does feel weird not to have a full-time Brazilian driver in F1 since, 2017 now. It's been quite a long time since Felipe Massa was driving. Mind you, of course, it's been even longer since we had like a full-time Argentine driver, which was, of course, Gaston Massacane at Prost, funnily enough. And, of course, Franco Colapinto is looking very good and unfortunately, could well be a huge problem for Bortoletto if Sauber decides to consider those two. Of course, I think Bortoletto and a lot of Brazilians will be having their fingers crossed that Colapinto goes on a downtrend. I'm dreading for Norris. Yeah, Norris. This is worrying for Norris, isn't it? Very worrying for Lando Norris. I mean, it's not looking good, is it? Really not making most out of this car. Okay, I know McLaren have claimed that they haven't been able to like get the right updates and the right setup for like this weekend and last weekend. But of course, Lando did get pole position at Kota last time out, so it's not like it's impossible to do well in that McLaren, by the way. But of course, consistency is not a strong point for Lando Norris. Carlos Sainz I just get the feeling, would get more out of the car on a more consistent basis. It's a shame. Obviously, my voice is a bit sore. It's a bit difficult, though, because obviously Piastri is only in his 2nd year. Norris is just what he is. It's like, if you criticize these drivers, I don't really think they've got the cojones to really like stand up for themselves. Oh, right. Pole position. Oh, yeah, because what was it last weekend? Oh, yeah, George Russell crashed out. I forgot. Yeah, crashed out in the dying stages of Q3. Pretty fortunate, but of course, I mean, you've got to take those pieces of luck when you get them, and I think it's safe to say Norris's poor start completely undid what was a huge shred of good luck for the Papaya boys. Of course, my voice is getting a bit hoarse because I don't tend to do these live streams very often. Piastri still gets new driver pass, but don't expect it much if Piastri doesn't keep it up. Yeah, I mean, Piastri needs to improve though next year. Because look, I think there's only so long you can sit there and excuse Piastri's mistakes, because obviously, yes, I know it's only his second year, but I don't know how many more times you can just sit there and say, well, he's a young driver, because, you know, I think we've seen the likes of Alonso, Vettel, Hamilton, Raikkonen step it up once they had 2 or 3 years under their belt. Like, there's only so many chances you can, like, excuse people. Okay, see you later, say Regara. I mean, maybe McLaren don't have the fastest car this weekend, but I think all the mistakes they've made throughout the season with Norris I think is finally catching up, like, because, you know, Ferrari are caught up. Like, we've got to give Ferrari credit here, folks. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, no, Norris, I think Lando Norris should have got second place at Kota, though, at the very least. But of course, just like almost so many weekends throughout this season, you know, Lando Norris just doesn't deserve the championship. That's nothing controversial to say, but Lando Norris, I think, quite rightly deserves to lose the championship now. It's not like anything that's big or that controversial to say. He's just simply hasn't shown the mentality or the consistency or the prowess of a world champion, and I think, you know, we're gonna get a very rightful four championship wins for Max Verstappen, who has been far more consistent despite the fact that Red Bull have had their struggles this year. You know, we've got to give credit where credit's due. Max Verstappen, despite having a car that's been at times only the 3rd or 4th fastest at many tracks this year, has just been so much more consistent. I was going to make a meme of saying, well, yeah, I mean, that the arguing between those two has just been biblical. Absolutely biblical at times. Of course, I'm eating a bit of ice cream because my voice is going a bit sore. Got to give credit to Pierre Gasly, 8th place in the Alpine. Magnussen, I don't think he'll be around in F1 next year, but he has somewhat found a bit of speed back recently. I think Say is just trolling us all now. I think deep down Say knows that Norris is not up to the job, but he's just winding us up for a laugh. But having only managed to win 3 races in that McLaren is quite a disappointing return. Well, it should be winning the Drivers' Championship, but Lando Norris is not good enough, so that's the end of the debate, really. Hamilton, what else? Albon, I'll give him some credit for this weekend. Not his recent form, obviously. His recent form has been really poor, but finally back to it looking like himself again in P9. Tsunoda, the ultimate glass half empty driver. Lawson, though, of course, Lawson will be rubbing his hands with glee, hoping that Tsunoda's car has taken a battering from being smacked into the barriers, and that Lawson can have another good race again and have a chance of getting that second Red Bull seat in the future. Aston Martin are pretty much just waiting on their fingers, waiting for Adrian Newey to arrive to rescue them. Bottas did a great job in P15, getting into Q2 for the first time since Sauber were doing car races in Narnia. Connor Pinto, disappointing, but he'll learn from this. Piastri, I think obviously at some point, eventually we have to stop using the rookie excuse eventually. Everyone has given up on Checo Perez, like not even his fans are that hype, or not even his fans are busy fighting his corner anymore. Ocon is too busy thinking about Haas next year. And Zhou is probably like doing a job interview to work at his dad's printer company or something stupid like that. Tsunoda, joke of the weekend. I don't know what, to be honest, if Red Bull really wanted Tsunoda, I think they probably would have had Tsunoda in the second seat by now, but it's not happening. That's why I said McLaren don't have the management or the pit war to win this championship as well. Like, I'm not, when I say that doesn't mean I'm making excuses for Norris in that matter, but I'm just saying that McLaren as a package, as a whole, are not really got that championship winning mentality. It's like they're almost being caught out by surprise how quick this car is this year, and you know, they are ahead of schedule, I think, in terms of their planning to become a top team again. And let's face it, like, I think they all expected Daniel Ricciardo to do well, but because of his poor performances, they did swoop in for Oscar Piastri, and of course, you know, as a result, they have two very young, inexperienced drivers at the helm. Neither of them truly prepped to be leading drivers at this point. I didn't quite get what you just said there, Roxford, but of course, Piastri, I think. Yeah, I think my expectations of Piastri will increase for the start of next season because I think. I mean, he's going to turn 24 years old next year, so at some point you're going to have to start increasing the expectations somewhat. Zach will not step down unless the Bahraini say otherwise. Yeah, God, dude, the Bahraini owners need to wake up about Zach Brown. I don't think Zach Brown is that good a team principal. I mean, I know he's good at getting sponsorships because I think McLaren now have something like 45 different sponsor partners, but what use is that money if they can't invest it wisely and get like a winning mentality at the team? He's a great PR guy, I'll tell you that, but I don't think he's a championship winner, to be honest. That's Zach Brown. Yeah, well, to be honest, I think losing Carlos Sainz in 2021 was a end of 2020 has also been a bit of a mistake there by McLaren not trying to do more to keep him. I don't know why McLaren fans don't want him back, but who else is there that's ready to lead McLaren right now? I can't think of anyone available who would be a better lead driver for McLaren precisely for who they are. Like Max is obviously going to be at Red Bull for the long term, unless Mercedes or Aston Martin step in. Leclerc is a Ferrari man. Alonso burnt his tie to the team a long time ago. Yeah, so, you know, big mistake by McLaren not to pounce on the the news earlier this year that Ferrari were going to basically jettison Sainz in favour of Lewis Hamilton. Like, you need experience to win championships. Like, look at Chelsea Football Club right now. Like, they got rid of so many older players, and yet then they obviously ended up finishing down in 6th or 7th place in the Premier League last year, and they're now playing Conference League football, which is the 3rd division of European football. So, lots of talented young players, but no experienced heads amongst them all. And it's the same problem with Norris and Piastri. They don't have any idea what it's like to be a winning team. Should have got Carlos Sainz in back for next year and told one of Norris or Piastri to go to Williams. I hope everyone is doing well in the chat. If you're watching the video, qualifying ended about half an hour ago, but I'm still talking because, of course, my viewers want me to do more talking because I've not done many live streams for the past month. I think I'll leave this running up for another 5 minutes and then I'll end the stream. So 5 more minutes. If you want to ask me any more questions, you can. I am having a bit of ice cream because of my throat. I apologise for the loss of connection there. My internet's gone fully, but of course, 5 more minutes and then, ask me any questions. Call or sites on poll, by the way.